Hey guys, so a lot of people think chemistry is a really hard subject, but it's really not. It just takes a lot of practice and some really close attention to detail. So, with that being said, we're going to work a problem. So the first step to solving any problem is to read the question carefully and deliberately. So, a 75 milliliter solution of HCl with an unknown concentration is titrated to the equivalence point with a 27.3 milliliters of a 0.157 solution of CaOH2. What was the concentration of HCl in the original solution? This can seem overwhelming, but it's really a simple question. The first step is to write down your chemical equation, which is 2HCl plus CaOH2 yields CaCl2 plus 2H2O. The next step is to draw a picture. See what you're dealing with. If you can understand it, you can solve it. So we know we have two solutions here. The first solution is HCl solution with a volume of 0.075 liters. It has an unknown concentration. That's what we're going to want to find. We also know that it's titrated with a CaOH2 a CaOH2 solution. It's titrated, which means that this solution will completely react with this solution. So you see the volume is 0.0273 liters and the concentration is 0.157 molarity. So with the picture having been drawn, you understand what's happening, which is basically these are going to totally react with these. Now you have to look at what you know. Well, the first thing you know is the molar ratio. For every 2 moles of HCl, there's 1 mole of CaOH2. How do we know that? We know that from the chemical equation that we had written down. Every 2 moles of HCl, there's 1 mole of CaOH2. What else do we know? Well, we know the simple formula, moles equals concentration times volume. This is going to be a really important formula. We also know the volume of HCl. That is 75 milliliters. Now, be careful. A lot of people make mistakes here. They'll see 75 milliliters and just put it into the equation that way. That is false. It needs to be converted into liters. So, as stated over here, 0.075 liters. We also know the volume of the CaOH2. Again, be super careful to change this into liters. And that is 27.3 milliliters, or 0.0273 liters of CaOH2. And finally, we know the molarity of the CaOH2, which is 0.157 molarity. Do you see, can you make a connection here? We're going to use this molarity, and we're going to use this volume, we're going to plug into this formula, and we're going to find the moles. Once we find the moles of CaOH2, it's child's play to change that moles into moles of HCl, and then you can use the resulting answer to find out the concentration. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really quite simple. So the first step is to figure out the moles of CaOH2. Like I said, use this formula, which is moles equals concentration times volume. So you have your concentration of CaOH2, and you multiply it by your volume, 0.0273 liters. This will give you the resulting answer of the moles of CaOH2. Now that you have those moles, you can convert the moles of CaOH2 into the moles of HCl. Remember, by this conversion factor. So, the units will cancel out, moles of CaOH2, and you'll be left with moles of HCl, or in this case, 0.0085722 moles of HCl. Simple. And from here, it's easy to use this formula again. Concentration equals moles over volume. And you use this, the moles of HCl, which is, again, 0.0085722 moles, divided by 0.075 liters, and that will give you the resulting molarity. That will give you the concentration. 0.114296 molarity of HCl, or 0.114 molarity HCl. And that is the answer. Now, be careful, because a lot of people will end on this step right here. They'll feel good, they'll get the answer, they'll say, I got it, and I got moles. That's not what you're looking for. The original question said, what is the concentration of HCl? That is why you have to keep going and get 0.114 molarity HCl. So, whenever you review the problem, it's actually quite simple. You just have to read the solution carefully. You need to write out the chemical equation, and be very careful with that. There's another common mistake here. People might forget that Ca is a +2 charge, and therefore yields CaCl. And that's completely wrong. It'll mess up the chemical equation and just get you confused. So just be careful there. After writing down the chemical equation, you need to draw a picture to make sure you understand it, realize that it's being titrated, know what the question's asking, write down what you know, which is basically just what the problem gives you, and plus a simple formula, and something you derived yourself from knowing the chemical equation. And then just very carefully, in this case, find the moles of CaOH2, use that information to find the moles of HCl, which is this, and then use this equation, which you knew from earlier, to find out the molarity of HCl. It's actually pretty simple when you look at it.